Yo, what's up everyone? Brownballer10 here providing you some exciting battles in the Flying Cup. This team is one of the most OP teams I have ever used, and it doesn't really make sense except for the fact that it is very bulky and it plays very well to the Flying Cup meta. Yes, on the paper, it does appear to lose a lot of matchups, but one reason this team is super successful is all of these mons can play in the zeros, and Mantine has the ability to control the game with the bubble beam debuff. So this team is made up of Mantine lead, Mandibuzz safe swap, and Altaria in the back. Honestly, I'd say the biggest weakness to this team is Togekiss, but you really do not see that in this meta. Um, it does appear to be a little weak to Emolga, and well, except for Altaria really being your best answer to that. Aerodactyl looks very strong for the team, but it actually does very well. But it does kind of take Steelwing Skarmory, and it does very well versus that. So, I was seeing a lot of Steelwing Skarmories and Aerodactyl leads. So I'm like, what really counters as well? Mantine. So I think Mantine in the lead is the absolute key to this team because it just controls the game, and you'll see that in these battles. Let's get into battle number one. We have Mantine into an Articuno. So that does counter our backline incredibly well. We've got to kill this thing. So Mantine's right now my best answer. So I'm expecting some flying counters in the back. People typically aren't really running Mandibuzz. I mean, why? Because on its own, it does appear to be very weak. Obviously, this is one of the losing matches. This should beat the entire team. This is a Shadow Articuno. It is actually quite glassy. Uh, I'll let this one go. They're gonna keep debuffing me. There's they can throw Ancient Power, but Icy Wind's just their better move to throw here. Just to debuff. It's very. I think debuff is very powerful in this cup, and why I think Mantine is so fucking good. So we get another Bubble Beam off, and we're going to force them to decide: do you want Switch or do you want Shield? We get an Emolga raid, and it farms us that Mantine down in one Thunder Shock. So I mean, I'm glad I've now got this Emolga on my Altaria. This is the best spot for it. These discharges do not do that much damage. Thunderbolt does do a fair amount, but Altaria is just very bulky. We get the first shield here, which is great. So I'm gonna just take a guess. Aerodactyl's in the back because that is on like every team. My Mandibuzz is a very good IV Mandibuzz. It's from a best friend trade, 5 attack and I think 14 or 15 the HP and defensive stats. So I just pulled both their shields, and there isn't in fact an Aerodactyl in the back. And Mandibuzz in the 1-0 shield scenario is basically gonna beat the entire meta. I think the only thing it loses to up one shield is Articuno. Um, so this thing, and even then, it just does so much damage. You see that at the foul play. We just need to control our energy there, and we'll put ourselves in one snarl range of the next one. That way, we're not taking too much rock throw damage. We do have to throw. It's unfortunate there, but this foul play just kills. This is GG's. I will say my Mambas is a safe swap. Pulls both shields on the Aerodactyl. We have Mantine into Aerodactyl. This is where I need to see it. I'm going to be doing super effective bubble damage. You're doing super effective rock throws. Remember, rock throw is a terrible move. There's a reason we don't use this. This is also why this team succeeds. I'm using good moves. A lot of this meta is not using great moves, except for I'd say Emolga. Emolga probably is using some of the better moves, but it's kind of glassy. So we shield the Rock Slide up here, and I'm just gonna go straight Bell Beam. This is I just need to chip, and let's see if we can pull some shields. They let it go, that's fine, and we have to go ahead and farm down. Get this Bubble Beam off versus Zapdos. This thing's also super glassy. Bubble Beam doing damage, it just shows you how glassy these mons are. In my opinion, it makes them really hard to use. This is now a debuff Zapdos. We're now setting control of the game, and we're about to, let this Mandibuzz and Altaria go to work. Go ahead and hit a Sky Attack off here. I know their whole line now. So they do know shield is fine, and now they should be in basically foul play range. I'm gonna go ahead and shield up just so I can farm out more. These Dragon Breaths are, they do some damage, but I shielded Moonblast there, and I'm in a fantastic spot. Go up to two foul plays, sort of first. and this should basically kill it. I can snarl down. Just that's just game unless uh, Zapdos has a Thunderbolt loaded. Drill Peck could KO from there, but I mean I'm at two foul plays again, and these just kill. This takes out the Zapdos, and Mandibuzz again is sweeping in the back. It's Valid Togekiss back there. Even Togekiss, not the super amazing matchup. Mandibuzz is just so bulky. Mantine into Skarmory. Should assume Steel Wing here is the moveset in this meta. Get the Emolga out and go straight into our Altaria. We'll go ahead and win this match. I really don't need Switch. I just need control of the game. So managing my energy, this team is a very high energy management team for sure. So I mean, I assumed they'd go Thunderbolt first. They did successfully get a bait off. Good play by them. But I should get two Sky attacks off before they can get the KO. So I'll either pull two shields, or we'll see how this game plays out. If I'm them, I no shield this. They really want to switch, so that basically gives me the game. And then they come in Aerodactyl without any shields. Sure, it's got some energy, but I mean, I'm gonna come in my Mantine here because I can just do some damage. I'll shield up the Rock Slide. I'll just take two Mons because Steel Wing's such a terrible move. Rock Throw is such a terrible move. There's a reason we don't use these moves in common metas, and this is why this team works. You're using moves that are using common metas. Great play by the opponent, storing that discharge and taking out the Mantine. But unfortunately, you have a Steel Wing Skarmory versus a full health Mandibuzz. Mandibuzz is winning this into zeros. So, I mean, Skarmory has the exact same stats as Mantine, but when you give it a move like Steel Wing, you've already nerfed Skarmory. Skarmory is definitely good because of its typing. The Steel typing is a fantastic typing. So if we look at our team, the only thing resisting it is the Dragon Breath. So Dragon Breath is only resisted by three mons in this entire meta: Skarmory, Togetic, and Togekiss. You use the Mandibuzz to draw out any potential Togekiss. So if there is one, you gotta hope you get a shield. I do run Air Rays. I do think Shadow Ball definitely could be potentially used here, but you do become weaker than Mandibuzz itself, just because I think this team is so good. You should definitely consider this team. There's a very high chance you have Altaria built. There's a very high chance you have Mandibuzz built. I'd say Mantine is your least likely to be built. I go ahead and go straight Bulb Beam the first on time. I shield this up. I assume they go Brave Bird. I want to keep this Mantine healthy. And I CMP'd him on a Bulb Beam. So they've now debuffed their defense quite a ways. And they're going to... Okay, come in Altaria. This is probably the worst swap for the team, especially being down a shield. They didn't go to Dragon Pulse or Moonblast. I don't have to shield this. I gotta kind of control. I gotta do some chip. Maybe get a shield. That's kind of my play here. Again, I really assume Aerodactyl in the back on these teams. And this team, it should not technically beat them. Although my Mandibuzz will be Aerodactyls. We go ahead and take the Altaria out. Skarmory farms us down. Not great. I want to get some energy up on my Mandibuzz. They stay in. So, I mean, obviously, Steel Wing's annoying. But I'm in a little bit of a predicament here. They are able to successfully get a Bravert off, but I think you gotta swap there immediately. But even then, that Mandibuzz is just going to be so spammy. I'm going to get three foul plays off versus that Aerodactyl anyway. So I mean, really, the opponent is just in a tough position. We'll go ahead and go for the Bulby and let's debuff this Aerodactyl and kind of control the game from here. We get this last shield. And, I mean, these bubbles are just chipping away. I mean, I think since I debuffed, I can let this go. Should be able to honestly snarl this thing down. Worst case scenario, they get Ancient Power Boost. They do not. We snarl down. We've got a shield. They've got Steel Wing. This should basically put in snarl down range, if not KO here. This should be GG's. Yeah, that's GG's. Again, outbulking your opponents is what we're doing with this team. Again, Mantine and Skarmory. I've seen so many Skarmory leads. So many Aerodactyl leads. Mantine is the answer and is definitely what needs to be run. Especially in lead. I go actually Ice Beam first this time. And I think a lot of Skarmories are kind of in predicaments here because they know what's in the back. I know basically everyone's running Aerodactyl. Because it's really hard to, handle Aerodactyl. especially with a Molga, which does decent versus of it. But I mean, you put Aerodactyl with two shields, it can really do a lot of work. If I force Aerodactyl not to have two shields, suddenly I'm forcing another Glassy Mon to play a zeros versus either Mandibuzz or Altaria. Very few things are going to outpace Mandibuzz. I'd say Amolga and Zapdos were probably the biggest stretch to my Mandibuzz. Probably I think Articuno as well. I think Articuno is a little hard to run just with so many Aerodactyls. I mean, you can't run Talonflame, and I think that definitely makes Skarmory strong. And Steel Wing Skarmory is one of the better answers to Aerodactyl. I mean, we got Altaria up a shield on them. We're in a good spot. I think it's worth farming down, shielding farming down. Oh, there you go. Forgot about that. And then again, Aerodactyl back. Aerodactyl's just not gonna do enough with no shields. Shield. SCMP, great play. Worst case scenario, they boost, which means those rock throws do a lot. But I mean, we're just gonna go ahead and foul play. Foul play is just fantastic. It's very hard to resist in this meta. The monsters are gonna resist it. Togekiss, Togetic, Mandibuzz, Honchkrow. That's it. Nobody's running Honchkrow. Oh, sorry, Murkrow as well. Murkrow as well. Nobody's running Honchkrow. Nobody's running Murkrow. Togekiss is hard to run. Togetic is very underwhelming. So you're coming down to Togekiss and Mandibuzz are the only things that are going to resist that is Dark Pulses. That's these battles. This team is strong. I believe right now 14 and 0 with this team. This is one of the strongest teams I've ever run. You should be running this team in the Flying Cup meta. Yo, hit that subscribe button down below. Thank you for tuning in and hope to see you again for more of these OP teams.